In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a pop ballad, and to do that I remade The Show by Niall Horan, and I'll break down my remake of the song's elements, the sounds of those elements, the mixing, the structure and arrangement, all that jazz. So hopefully by the end of this tutorial, you can make a song in a similar pop ballad style to this one. Set the tempo around 66 BPM, start off by making some chill piano chords. And these are just very basic chords in a progression like this, with the root notes laid out on the bottom of each chord like that. You don't have to do it like this where like each chord is playing twice like that, but it's a general rhythm that a lot of pop ballad songs do, where they just play the same chord twice and then move on to the next and play it twice, and then same thing like that. I use two piano presets to accomplish this sound. I use this close grand preset from Flex, and then I use the soft piano preset from Labs, which is a free plugin as well. So this one's like a very chill, mellow piano, and then this one just adds some extra oomph to the piano to make it stand out in the mix. And for mixing, I put this OTT on here just to help with some volume levels and compression with these settings. I put a Fruity Blood overdrive on here to really amplify the essence of the piano sound. And I put this EQ on here that takes out a good chunk of the lows so that when we make a bass later, the lows aren't counteracting and sound muddy. And then boost a tiny bit of the highs to get that higher end of the piano higher in volume as well. Next, take the long version of those chords and put them into some strings. Same exact chord progression, just not repeating twice in a row like that. It's a longer version of the chords. I use two string presets from Flex to accomplish this sound. I use the string sustain preset with the darken macro turned all the way up, and the viola sustain preset as well from Flex. So the general string preset really helps to make a wide, muffled string feel, while the violas help to elevate the higher end of the strings. All I did is I put on the same EQ from earlier, which just helps to get rid of those muddy lows and then boost a little bit of the highs. Next, take the bass notes of the chords and put them into some bass presets. And by bass notes, I mean those root notes that are laid out from earlier. Like for example, this is an E chord, so the root note's an E. This is a C sharp chord, so this is a C sharp. Put them into a bass that sounds like this. A very low subby sound for the bass. I have two presets to accomplish this sound. I use this bass guitar preset from Flex, and then this low end sub bass from Vital, from MHA's Volume 3 soundbank. So this one's just like a low bass guitar, and then this one is just a low sub bass that helps to come together and create a very low mellow bass to kind of ride in the background of the track. And all I put on this was an OTT to help with some compression for the bass and a little tiny bit of amplification for the overall bass sound as well with these settings. Next, I just made a top melody with some violin. It almost looks like the bass, but it's not. All I did is I played this over the rest of the track, like over here, and then I just moved around some of the notes while it was playing just to make sure that it sounds good. All this really does is help fill up the mix a little bit in the background, and I used a violin sustain preset from Flex to accomplish that sound. Now for the drums. I have a kick. Make sure it's a loud thumping kind of stadium kick. I have this snare. Make sure, again, it's like a wide anthemic stadium snare. And I have this hat as well. This hat actually has a lot of low end, and you're probably asking why hats usually have a high end. I don't know, it really just flows better with the stadium vibe when you have a lower end on the hi-hat. Adding a crash as well. The whole drum loop sounds like this. It's a very like stadium rock-ish type thing. Obviously this isn't a rock song, but when you get the drums and that kind of vibe, it fits well with the ballad. Don't ask me, I don't know, it just works. All of the drums have a standard Fruity Blood overdrive on there just to amplify and give some boost to the drum sound. And then I also added this reverb for the snare. It's just a standard reverb, nothing done except raising the low cut a little bit so that the reverb doesn't have any muddy lows in it. Now for the structure and arrangement of this track, I only replicated the chorus. If you wanted to do a verse or pre-chorus or anything like that, all you gotta really do is just put the piano and just play it continuously throughout the entire song, and then for the chorus is when you put everything all together. But for the rest of the song, just mainly just stick to the piano and maybe add like a violin here or there or whatever, because the only thing that really changes in the verses and stuff is the vocal melodies and lyrics. But for the chorus, you add everything all together. You have the piano, the strings, the bass, the violin top melody, and then the drums as well. And after all that, here's the final result.
If everything was easy, nothing ever broke. If everything was simple, how would we